Because if I say you're a bitch ass nigga, that does something for me.
It benefits you as a woman to stick to that man because the more you get pregnant, the more your value declines.
So there's a lot of toxic content on the internet, and we're going to react to all this manosphere, toxic masculinity, and toxic femininity, all this content that we see on the internet against black women and black men. Let's just watch it. Let's see what's going on. So here's something from the Fresh and Fit podcast, which is like, oof, okay.
As a male, I could have 18, 30, 40, 50 women pregnant at the same time. As a female, you can only be pregnant by one man at a time.
That just tells me that men need to take birth control and women don't.
And further, it benefits you as a woman to stick to that man because the more you get pregnant, the more your value declines.
You're watching The Ken Mo Show, and I'm your host, Ken Mo. This video is brought to you by mintedculture.com, where you can check out all of my content. I have several channels across social media: Brand Video Pro, The Ken Mo Show, Stream OVG, and Stream OVG Business. But if you head on over to mintedculture.com, you can check out all my content in one place. Also, when you go on the website, you can book a one-on-one consultation or strategy call with me, and I can give you tips, tricks, and strategies in business, filmmaking, media, Web3, NFTs, all the above. So head on over to mintedculture.com to find out more.
Stretch marks, losing the vaginal elasticity, and all of these meaningful things that attract.
So everyone's heard that little boy and what he has to say. Now I'll tell you exactly what a man actually thinks. A real man thinks that a woman's value increases 100-fold when she is pregnant, because not only is she your partner and you love her already, she is now carrying your seed, your offspring. So you go into protection mode. You wait on her hand and foot. You treat her like an absolute queen. You're not worried about stretch marks and the elasticity of her vagina. You're worried about whether she's happy and she's healthy and the baby's healthy. You're cooking, you're cleaning, you're making sure she's like a fragile piece of glass in your hand at this stage, and it's your job to make sure you don't drop it. You don't let her drive. You don't let her do anything. You wait on her hand and foot. That's what a real man does. He protects his family and he protects his partner, and he makes sure that everything's all right. You know, he makes sure she takes her supplements and her, you know what I mean, her Forever Mum pills and her, this guy's a dickhead. This real man.
I think it's so unfortunate when I look at, these dating coaches, and I feel as though a lot of them just come from broken homes, so they don't know what it's like to have a functional family structure. I mean, this is the only thing that makes sense to me, because there's no way that if you have a nuclear family and you've seen the way your father, a loving father, a father that loves, your mother, treats her like a queen, it's very difficult for me to believe that you'll turn around and these are the things that you're going to say and this is how you're going to act. It could be possible, but it's really difficult for me to believe that. And this just tells me that a lot of these kids, because they're not men, this is not a man, this is a child. A lot of these children are just lacking. They just lack. And if you're not somebody that has experienced a strong, healthy nuclear family, even whether you had it in your household or you saw it with an uncle and an aunt or you saw it in your environment, if you haven't experienced that, then you're not in a position to teach men how to raise or how to live their lives, because you have no great example. All right, let's watch another one.
You know what women don't be doing?
Exactly, my brother. And just to piggyback off of what you were saying, my mom had 4 kids and 17 different jobs. So while my daddy was out smoking Henny and drinking crack and putting all of our money into hookers, my mother was at home with her kids or slaving away at her job. And what I don't understand is, where are the women like that? Nah, you speaking facts, bro. They don't exist no more. And this is what I be saying. Women are too emotional. I like to think critically and logically. And this is exactly why when they come over to chill, I got to cover up the hole I punched in the wall when the Lakers lost, because they don't understand. Exactly, my fellow alpha males. How do you expect me to marry you when you can't even clean my ass correctly. The audacity for these females to think I'm gonna get home from a long day of cheating and being neglectful toward my responsibilities and family. You are not rushing to the door to take my shoes off and kiss my feet after you worked long and hard. These bitches be tripping, bro. Y'all ever thought about going to therapy?
Oh my God. All this content is just ridiculous. There is a content revolution.
To all straight black men out there, you don't need a podcast. You don't. I promise you don't. Before you go on Amazon and buy yourself a good pair of headphones, a good microphone, ask yourself, am I adding anything to the world around me? Anything! Because if the answer is no, don't do it. Ben?
Honestly, instead of starting a podcast, well, first of all, develop your views. But why don't you go to like your local government, local, I don't know, town or whatever, and just like work in the I don't know, do something that can build society, instead of like getting these podcasts. But anyway.
Are created to be dominant? Would you prefer a thought daughter or a gay son? If you had a key that could unlock any lock, if you had a lock that could be opened by any key, women are created to be submissive. Give me that fucking mic. Give me that fucking mic.
Oh my God, I think people are just tired of this content online. It's just like super toxic. Anyway, it's just interesting content that's going on in the internet. Oh, there's one more. Brittany Renner. Brittany.
Fresh, great idea was don't tell Myra until today. So we walk in, you first see Brittany Renner, and we're thinking you're probably gonna be like, okay, shit, we're gonna have this great debate. But you said initially, you're like, I don't think there's much to really debate. Why?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. We've always said it, men and women, we're very different. We have opposing goals. Like, girls are trying to, get resources, time, attention out of guys. Guys are trying to get sex. And girls, a lot of the time, are trying to get what they need to get out of dudes without necessarily giving it up. And some girls are good at it, some girls aren't. And then there's other girls that are kind of models for that are good at finessing dudes. And not to say that you're a finesser, I ain't saying that, but girls are able to, run laps around a lot of guys. And that's why our podcast exists, to help dudes out to understand, how women operate and how they move.
Now, you have a different point of view.
Wait. Where do you think she fits in that? Because, I think her point of view would be diametrically opposed to you guys by saying, well, I'm not the exact typical person who you may think dudes are running into or you're trying to tell people to stay away from.
I mean, well, sure, she could tell. She was saying that we're wrong, I guess, about that.
Well,
so you tell us a little bit about yourself. Then.
No, I think you know more about me than I do myself. So you're saying no, obviously you do though, because you said that you warn guys about girls like me. So tell me about girls like me.
Just
Humor
women
me.
in general.
Don't women in general, because you literally specifically said before we got on here
This was an off-camera conversation.
that you did say that
That's true.
You warn guys about girls like me. So now that we're face to face, what kind of girl am I?
You're not special. You're like other girls. That's the key.
I'm not special.
You're like other women that are.
So what makes you special then?
I never said I was, but you're trying to say, well, what makes me different from a lot of women operate the way you do?
And how do I operate?
In general, what I just said before, women, it's a dance between the two genders. Men are trying to get sex. Women are trying to get resources, time, attention, whatever it is that they're looking for. And a lot of girls play the game better than guys. We talk about this openly on our podcast, and we're teaching guys how to not necessarily get finesse and get what they want out of girls, which a lot of the times is intimacy, but they're not able to get it. But girls are easily able to obtain money, time, resource, attention, whatever it is. Girls are running laps around dudes, which is why podcasts like ours exist.
Do you believe that Brittany has been effective in extracting, as you say, time, resources, and other things out of dudes?
Yeah, to a degree, sure. Yeah. I mean, a lot of girls want to do. I mean, here's the thing. You've been so adamant about me being incorrect, and I don't know, and you don't know me, and all this other stuff. Tell me then. Maybe we're off. Who knows?
Well, I think, first of all, let's bring it back a couple notches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So there's really a lot to unpack here, because my first question to you is, what do you gain from telling girls that they're not special? How does that make you feel? I mean, I know everything is a joke, but I'm asking you a real question. So how does that make you feel? Because if I say you're a bitch ass nigga, that does something for me, right? If I insult you, or if I tell you you're not special, you're forgettable. What does that do for me? No, but that doesn't. But that's what I'm saying. No, but I'm saying, what if I call you? If I just say that again, you're forgettable. That's why I didn't want to do you guys' podcast. Forgettable. Hate the setup. The name is underwhelming. I didn't really see the value in it.
By underwhelming, she means because their podcast is called Fresh and Fit, and everybody online makes fun of them. Basically says like, not so fresh, not so fit. So that's probably what she means. She's pretty much regurgitating what everybody on the internet, how they respond to these guys and their trash content. She's pretty much just going after them and attacking them for that. But let's keep going.
Right? That's how I feel. Right. But so that's fine. But for me, that's okay if it wasn't a fit for me. But I also don't need to, in a way kind of try to devalue what you guys have going on. Because at the end of the day, I may not agree with anything you guys talk about. Because honestly, I feel like when you've seen 2 or 3 videos, you've seen them all. But the reality is that I went to your guys' page and I went to the different links and the different services and the courses that you guys offer. And I do see that there's a place for that. So even though it may not have been in alignment with what I am about, I can still give credit where it's due without trying to devalue you guys, because you guys are doing something special, right? Because you guys are, I mean, are there a lot of other people doing what you do? You could consider your guys' podcast special, right?
I think what she's mentioned is like the self-help portion for dudes, where you guys offer services to, help guys, either attract or try to talk to women and really engage with them at a higher rate that you could, potentially date them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the point that I think she's disagreeing with, right?
I'm simply asking her to tell us about herself because we were so incorrect. So tell us about yourself. That's all I'm saying. And then
so funny to me how he's trying to make it seem like she went on a rant, but in truth, he told her that she's not special. So she's like, no, we got to reel it back in. Let's go back to point A and address what you said. I don't need to answer your question. And you know what's so interesting to me? The way that she's dominating this conversation. She's running circles around them. And he's really struggling, but he doesn't want to lose his masculine frame and sort of like go off on her. Like we see him go off all the time on his podcast because everybody has been calling him all kinds of names because he always goes off masculine frame. So he doesn't want to make it seem like he's going to go off masculine frame. So he's trying to like stay centered, even though she's run circles around him and dissed him like with side jab after side jab. Well, she's brutal.
And it's attacking us. And
no one's attacking you because, like I said, listen. There's a lot of people that will not sit down and have a conversation with you just because of the comments that you guys made. Well, Facts. You made, and you Facts. Chimed in, so you guys are Tweedledee and Tweedledum kind of, right? So I'm here to have a conversation with you guys because for me, I feel like what a lot of male-dominated podcasts are missing is the bridge of understanding. So I came here not to argue you guys or to call you out of your name or to disrespect what anybody's doing because I felt like the interview I had with him, there were things that he said I didn't agree with, but I wanted to sit down and hear his point of view. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So for you to say you're not special, well, I'm special to someone, just like you're special to someone, just like he's special to someone. So for you trying to generalize all groups of women, then we would have to take it back to where this even began. Like why you even have this view of women. And like I said, you have a bunch of dumbass bitches on your guys' podcast, and I get it, they don't challenge you, and I know you're a really smart guy, but it's like, I feel like you need to kind of just...
I love how she did that. It's to like ease his ego a little bit because she's coming for him and she's trying to soften it, but those jabs are harder.
Be honest and show people who you really are. Like, I know that for people to be dragging you guys and...
Yeah, because that's the truth. We don't know who he is. We don't... And he's hiding a lot. Because to me, what he sounds like is he comes from a broken family. He sounds like, or I don't know, his culture, I don't know what it is. Something about him is not Western, and he's really trying to push some agenda that's not, typical.
Take this little clip and say that's who you are. That's not true. So that's why I sat down and had this conversation. I'm not here to degrade you. So when you make comments, I'm saying when you make comments like, oh yeah, no women are special. So no woman is special, but yet you guys have a whole podcast dedicated how to get women. just for sex. That's all you guys are. So you're saying men are just limited to just sex. That's all they care about is sex. Yes or no? That's all you guys care about. There's no emotional need. It's just my dick, cum, sex. I want a hole.
Wow, you are triggered, man. Wow.
It's so interesting when there's a level of intelligence that comes after him. He's just like, he's speechless. He doesn't have anything to say. He has no way to no rebuttal, nothing. But on his podcast, when he brings like, women that are not very educated, women that are just rolling out the nightclub drunk out of their minds, he's got so much to say, and he knows how to be dominant there. But in this conversation, she's pretty calm. He doesn't know how to debate with her, which is so interesting. You trigger a lot of people online. So she's out here representing, saying what everybody on the internet wants to say to you. And you just sort of like gaslit it, You know what? One thing about the internet that's fun is the fact that you can't really cancel him because he owns his own stuff. If he was in traditional media, he would have lost all his brand deals and all this and that. But, he's a YouTuber, so no one's going to cancel him. But he probably, I'll tell you this much, it's unlikely to see him go mainstream because of what he's done, or at least in any time soon. Unless he completely rebrands himself, it's really difficult. I don't think he's going mainstream. But anyway, those are my thoughts. She really came for them. I love to see it. Brittany Renner just came for them. Let me know your thoughts. Leave a comment down below. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, all the above. You're watching The Kenna Mo Show, and I'm your host, Kenna Mo.